Hi, I'm Annemarie diSalvo from diSalvo Interiors. As you know, if you follow us, we've been doing a whole series on our process and how we work. And today was really important for us because we're going to talk about artwork with...
Hi, I'm Anita of Accetra Arts Limited, located here on Long Island, servicing the interior design and architectural trade with fine art and custom framing.
Hi, I'm Rosemary diSalvo from diSalvo Interiors, and I'm so happy to be included in this discussion about what you do, Anita, and how important you are to the interior design community. So thank you.
Thank you.
This is a great opportunity.
It's a great opportunity.
So as you can see, we're in the middle of Anita's studio, which I always think of like a candy store. You can see things on the walls, things happening behind us. There's a whole framing gallery. Just her cornucopia of framing matting is unbelievable. So every time I come, whether I come alone or whether I come with a client, I'm always so inspired by what I find here. What is your process, Anita, when you are bringing in a piece of art for the studio?
Bringing in a piece of art for the studio, I tap into my resources of artists and dealers, both national and international, that I've developed relationships with for well into 2 decades and more. Mm-hmm. They send me art on rotation.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What does that mean, though,
That means
Anita?
that they will send me 20, 30, 40 pieces, unframed art that I put into my vast inventory and are able to rotate with them. What sells I buy, and what doesn't sell I'm able to trade back. And it works for them because there's art in the field, and it works for me because I constantly have a renewed inventory to share with my constant revolving clientele and projects.
Well, that really speaks to you as a person and as a resource in the industry, because I don't know of too many people that, are handed, $50,000 in art and say, here you go.
Exactly. It builds up on reputation. It builds on trust and the fact that I produce. I am very active in the fact that they're doing business in a way that isn't conceivable otherwise in a brick and mortar gallery or through trade shows.
So explain that process. So you give them exposure. You're able to sell their art.
Yes.
In most cases.
Yes.
But how did you start that process? How did you begin?
So interestingly enough, I'm a daughter of an interior designer, just like Annemarie and Rosemary. And we've always had that in common.
Yes.
And my mother was a foremost designer here on Long Island for 47 years. Wow. And I learned the industry, I learned the trade, I learned about space and what matters in a home or in a business commercial space that would create an essence, a meaning, to complete the space that a designer was working with. In the 70s, my dad was in an art business.
Oh.
And I worked with Mom for a short period of time and attained my own design degree, but kind of always loved art. And with a small investment, I brought in some unframed limited edition pieces through one of my dad's sources.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
so that helped having Dad. Sure.
And my dad was in a different type of art. He was in more of the art for the masses.
Okay.
Inexpensive canvases that were maybe $100 framed, that kind of thing, sold to the masses. Whereas I was more in the interior design field, curation.
Yes.
So that small inventory grew.
So I'm thinking having both backgrounds and having each parent influencing you separately had to be a culmination of where you are today.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
And there was nobody doing this at the time. There was nobody selling fine art that we knew of. There might have been a couple of craft galleries on Long Island. There might have been, of course, the D&D building or 200 Lex or other showrooms that had, pieces of art, but there was nobody that had a full service art business that I knew of at that point. And then I started working with custom framers.
Yeah.
And went through a few of them over my career, but they're my trusted sources. I will not settle for under quality perfection. Everything I do is with meaning, with high-end goods, you know, that us as interior designers want to bring to our clientele.
You know, I remember fondly that whole process when we were framing one of my clients' prints that you had gotten, original prints that you had gotten. And the framing process in itself was so meticulous. And I never knew about the archival glass and the double framing, the double matting.
Yes.
And then the detail with the matting that you could do with the metal. And I'm
the
probably
fillet.
saying
That's okay.
all these things
Exactly.
incorrectly, but I remember that whole process. It was so tedious and meticulous.
It's tedious and meticulous, and I just have self-trained over all these years, and the outcomes are always spectacular.
Yeah.
Higher end, like I said, just wonderful materials, the newest of new. You know, we want to bring all that to our field, to our interior design field.
Right.
What I love about choosing art, whether it's a residential home, a commercial project, it really doesn't matter. Well, nothing gets me crazier than when art is chosen to match the decor. Just put a bullet in my head.
Yes,
I'm done.
yes.
If you're using art that way in your projects, you're doing it wrong. So art should be an extension, really, of who you are as a person, a family, a company. It should be interesting.
Yes.
It should be a moment when you're walking through a space where you stop, and it doesn't have to be anything except a white canvas with a little squiggly through it. Whatever speaks to you, whatever stops you in your tracks and makes you appreciate
Exactly.
what an artist has done.
Yes.
To me, that's really where the magic in art lies.
100%.
What are you attracted to? You see everything.
Yeah. How do you
It's hard.
differentiate between all the genres and the mediums?
Yeah, it's hard. And to your point, art creates and evokes an emotion in somebody.
Yes. That's a much better way of
it
saying
really,
it.
yes. And somehow or another, you could feel joy, you could feel happiness, you could feel sadness, you could feel action, you could feel alive. Whatever that emotion is, it's speaking to you.
Right.
And oftentimes when I meet with a couple, okay, or I meet with a professional commercial space, it's what does it appeal to you? How does it make you feel? When I'm working with a commercial space, it's always like, what is your business about?
Right.
What is your keystone? What is your mission statement?
Right.
And how does this
Yes.
art reflect that?
Right.
So attracts me is kind of all over the map. I would say I'm not in love with a landscape, more or less. I like things that are brighter. I love figuratives. I go to another aspect of my business as I go to all of these fine art fairs. In fact, there's one this weekend in the Hamptons. And I go to Miami to the
Yes. Art
world-class
Basel.
Art Basel
Yes.
and Art Miami. And when I walk through
See, I
these
said
events,
Art Basel because I'm Italian, so everything
It is
is
basil.
It's basil.
when I go through these fairs, I stop at the figures.
Really?
I literally stop at the figures. If the nose is off or the ears are off or their hands are too long, it doesn't resonate with me. But there's something about a figure, a woman, particularly a woman figure. And I have several in my own collection, in my own home. But that, I guess, is my favorite.
Okay.
I like abstract, but it has to be the right type of abstract. And I do love floral.
There's a lot of messy abstracts.
There are a
out
lot of
there.
messy abstracts, but sometimes that works too. But I would say my personal favorite would be the female form. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So tell us a story about the worst kind of art that you have seen. I mean, there's
Oh my God.
There's got to be.
There
There's
is
gotta
the
be a
worst.
time, right?
And you could roll your eye. Just go visit MoMA in the city, okay? And there's a display of a Dannon yogurt container with a cap on the floor with two guardsmen standing by the art.
Really?
Don't touch. Yes, it's why? We can't figure that out.
So it's not the
In
Campbell
MoMA.
soup can, right?
The candle soup is iconic.
It is iconic,
Right.
but what separates the Campbell soup
From the yogurt.
Dandian yogurt?
Probably didn't, but it was the first of its kind. And that created that whole genre,
Yeah, it did.
okay, of graffiti art. And
That happens to be a favorite.
it is
of
a
mine.
favorite of yours. You've
Love.
shared that
So
with
one of
me.
these days, we talk about it all the time. The side of the building, the office
Yes.
building, we plan on doing some
Ooh.
sort of
A
graffiti.
mural.
Super
We talk
cool.
about it for the
Yeah.
last 10 years,
Yeah.
and we still haven't figured out the possibility of what we should have on
Yeah.
this building.
Mhm.
But that is one of
I love
Annemarie's
graffiti.
goals.
Quite
would be
honestly, my
fabulous.
favorite part of going to the Bronx is just looking at
Wow.
the I love
Oh
it.
my God.
I love it.
You need to go to the Miami area, Wynwood,
Really?
which is, yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Well, what
Yeah,
about Little
it's so
Cuba
cool.
in Miami?
Right,
That is so
yeah.
colorful.
It's just
and
so colorful and fun.
magnificent.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to get back to your point, so what was it about that particular Dandian yogurt, if you will, that you found so such an
Offensive,
aberration?
annoying. I was with my husband, and we looked at each other like, "What
don't get it."
was that? We just don't get it." Recently, last Basel, so 2025 in December, there was a display of these mechanical dogs, literally mechanical dogs that were charging at each other in the middle of what we call an art installation.
Right.
And they were just coming at each other. They
Were
were,
they
I guess,
yapping?
they were yapping, but they were made of metal. So these metal
Clickety-clack. It was more like
dogs.
a clickety-clack.
And we
yeah.
looked at each other again. My husband, he loves to come to these events with me. And we were like, what did we just see? What is that?
Oh, that's
and meanwhile,
too
in
funny.
all of Architectural Digest, in all of my art news bulletins, this
There are the
came up.
yapping
This
dogs.
came up. The yapping dog was a highlight at Art Basel.
Interesting.
It
It's
was
interesting.
literally crazy. So, yeah.
So what are the major things that you have seen shifting in the art industry itself?
So a few years back, there was all of this from nowhere. I forgot the name of it. It was called...
Is it digitally?
digitally, yeah.
Okay.
And that
Generated.
was generated, and I could think of the term like a couple of years ago, but it just descended. It didn't make sense.
Okay.
People were investing in it, and it was not tangible. So people were investing in it, but it never went too far. So,
Okay.
yeah,
So digital art. I mean, this brings us to AI.
digital art, AI.
Yeah. What is happening in that realm?
So, okay, so in 1990s, they generated what's called G-clay.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Sure.
Okay,
Of
Yes.
course.
Sure.
So G-clay is a reproduction of original art, where they take a camera, they capture the image, and they are able to use a high resolution format to create that image in any size
Right.
on any substrate. They
For a
perfect
reasonable
it
price.
for reasonable
Right.
price. So let's say an original was $4,000. They would create this reproduction format for 10 cents on the dollar. You know, you could buy the same $4,000 piece for $400 or sometimes $40. But it depended on the quality. Over the years, the ink process was starting to fade over time. So they had to go back to the printing process and the inks that were used to better the concept, to better the process. And nowadays, it's all over the internet to buy affordable art. The only thing is it's produced in very low standard quality.
Right.
It could be printed on a canvas that's a millimeter thin, and it's literally terrible quality.
But I feel like at some point we've all had a reproduction of, Monet's water lilies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So, the printing press
Right.
did that also.
Yes.
Where we took beautiful watercolors.
And it was a poster.
And it was a
with an
poster.
imprint on the bottom, and that still exists.
Exactly.
And it was
yes, yeah.
available for the masses.
Available
Right.
to the masses.
That's what it is.
Exactly
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
masses can access literally anything and
Anything.
everything now.
Anything, yeah.
So AI has definitely not hurt us. It certainly enhances our field, but it's made the consumer more aware. of what is
Interesting.
out there
Interesting.
and what they could access and what they could buy. So there's a little bit of that challenge.
Yes, but
all the time.
is AI generating original art?
Perhaps.
It's generating original music.
That's right.
And it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it does. I don't know about generating it, because then it has to come from an from an artist.
It doesn't.
Right? It wouldn't do that, but it would give you the concept.
The concept.
For sure. The concepts for
Everything
sure.
is conceptual.
Yes.
It's
We're going to
very
have to look into
conceptual.
that.
But there,
Yeah.
yeah.
We're going to have to look into
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I would
Because
say.
I've listened to AI music, and
It's crazy.
good.
Yeah.
It's scary.
But
when
that's
you
just
think about
sound
it.
systems. Like, how does this happen by someone's hand doing a piece of art?
Well, it wouldn't. It would generate it on the screen. and then
Digitized.
Somebody would go and print that piece.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
But
It's totally
technically
And depending upon
original.
the printer or the process of
Right.
how it's printed,
right.
it
So-
could be a phenomenal piece
Right.
then.
So with my experience and my wisdom, I would say to the client, you may have found this beautiful piece of
don't
art,
spend any
but
money on it.
don't spend money. But the
Right.
print process could only create a thumbnail of that image.
Sure.
Does it have a large enough opacity? Does it have a large enough, we call it DPI, which is the
Right.
way for an image to be enlarged. So those are the type of things that I would
Right.
expertly analyze, for the client. But it's been a little hinder, because if you present something to them and they are budget oriented, they'll say, well, I could find that myself on the internet.
Sure.
Or I could, go to a consumer friendly site and buy it myself. Why do I need you?
Well,
And
I
that's
would
where we come in. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
where
where
you
we come in.
I don't
I-
think
This
that's
is
your
not-
client to begin
I
with.
wouldn't be
quite
my client
honestly.
to begin with. And those clients that are just constantly challenging you, we have to weed out.
Right,
There's no
right,
room
right.
in
You
our
can't
in our
compete
business for
with
that.
what
You can't
you're looking
compete.
at
What's
online.
mass
Exactly.
produced.
And
And
what's
exactly.
mass produced.
Yeah.
Exactly. And there's always a market for that as well.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, but for the fine pieces, like you were saying, integrating with the interior design of a house or a commercial space, that in itself would require to have someone like yourself that's an
That's
art
right.
curator that
Right.
knows that particular piece that would be perfect for the
Yes.
space, but not just to have a painting or a print. It's to have something that is memorable.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
To
a
have
unique
somebody
experience.
Guide you.
That's where I come in.
Correct.
I'm trying to, sort of create my concept as bespoke, concierge,
Absolutely.
a business that helps this end of what you do so well
Right.
as an
It's
interior
such a
designer.
unique and
It's very
creative
unique.
space.
Yeah.
What you do, you've
Yeah.
created a market
Yes.
where we didn't know that a vacuum existed.
Exactly.
It's true.
And so
Well done, you.
thank you. So at times a designer, would come here with their plans or elevations or fabrics or wall covering, and we display it out on my work table, and we'll come up with concepts. I will bring huge portfolios of unframed art that's pre-selected by the designer, and more or less, we're bringing the art show to the client.
Right.
It could be one room,
Correct.
a powder room. It could be an entire home. It could be the primary bedroom. It could be whatever space they're working with. We're bringing the art to them.
Right.
And then we're bringing pre-selected custom framing.
Yes.
So the whole process is very unique.
But
Well-
not only is it the framing, it's the installation. It's the
That
way
too.
the sun's coming in. It's the way the
Yes.
artificial light. All of that
Yeah.
plays an important part of exactly where that piece of art is going
That's
to live.
100%. One of my earlier days, designers used to say, how is it going to receive in the space? Exactly to your
Sure,
point, the
sure.
lighting,
Yeah.
the positioning, the crown, the maybe there's just a pin spot above it.
Sure.
Maybe there's a picture light. How is it receiving in the space? So that's a big thing.
So we have been working together for about 4,000 years.
I think 4,000 is right.
We're
Yeah.
aging ourselves,
Probably,
literally.
probably 2000,
Yes.
1999.
Yes.
Yeah, we go back a very long time.
We do.
And over the years, obviously, we have built such a trust that I'm at the point now where, I have not been in this space in a few years because I'll just call you and
Yeah.
say, Anita,
Meet me at
this is what I'm doing. This is my color palette. here's my set of plans. I need 5 pieces. Curate them for me. Meet me at the client's house. I want these types of frames. And you come with your bag of tricks, and we literally unroll them
Exactly.
on the client's
That's
living room
exactly
floor,
right.
dining room table. And it's such a great interactive
Thank you for that.
experience.
It really is very,
Yeah.
very unique.
Mhm.
And if I also can say, I can create a presentation online. I've become
Yes.
very
Yes.
adept
Mhm.
at some of these tools that we use,
Yes.
specifically PowerPoint.
Sure.
And a client will say, I'm doing a law firm and here's the plan, and email me the plan, and
Right.
I'll specifically set up, you know, the conference room, the break room, 8 offices, and I'll send a PowerPoint so
That's
10 eyes
excellent.
can look at this PowerPoint and make their decisions based on
I didn't know you were that
ideas.
technical.
I'm pretty technical.
I'm so
it will-
impressed. I am so impressed.
Well, but if you think about it,
Other things I can't do that
that is a
well.
big positive of COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to
We were all
not be afraid of
thrown
these.
into
Yes,
the deep end.
deep
we had
end.
to keep doing business.
Exactly
we learned
right.
Zoom overnight.
Right.
We learned PowerPoint, overnight.
Exactly right.
We had to figure it out.
Right.
And now
So it's another visual
Exactly.
tool.
Yeah.
And so I'm really fast and really good at that. So creating a concept, creating a presentation starts from nowhere, right? So there's an
Nowhere.
interaction with the designer or the architect. And there's, decisions to be made, however, and budgets obviously in mind. I pull from my various resources. Doesn't necessarily have to be fine art, but my other vendors and dealers that I'm comfortable with,
Right.
and pull together an entire
Yeah.
presentation. So it's quick, it's efficient.
Right.
They're not hunting the internet for 10,000 options. I've made that
Yeah.
process very
Because
simplistic,
You could go down a rabbit hole.
a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And
which I hate
yeah.
that.
And then if there's a work order change, if there's something that we're, that one partner didn't love, we'll make those changes.
Those adjustments to
Yes.
the plan.
So it works for both commercial spaces and obviously residential. If the client, I do a lot of clients that are relocating
Yes.
or have second homes in Florida.
Right.
They're not up here. So what we do is we'll have a conversation, a FaceTime conversation, and then I'm sending them ideas,
Right.
and we'll come to a decision, and then it's framed up here because I could control that.
Yes.
And then I ship it down to a receiver.
Right.
So that really works out beautifully
So
well.
do you have installers everywhere?
Everywhere. There's a
That's
network.
Yeah, no, I
So you
understand.
guys introduced me to one of my key installers, Anthony Conti, a professional
Anthony, yes, he's the
installation
best.
So amazing.
of ProHang.
Yes.
In
And now
about
his son,
2004.
Yes.
Is with him. Talk
And now
about
his next
family
generation.
businesses.
Generation, yeah.
So he's our local install team. I trust no one else but them.
Oh, me too.
They're efficient. I know their system, they know mine, and we just sit there and just point and say higher, lower.
Right.
But they know
Exactly.
their story. I have teams in LA, I have teams in Florida, I have teams in New Jersey, in Connecticut. These are all sort of like a
great.
network.
That's
Yeah.
important.
That
And it's
build up over
important.
decades.
And you build up over decades.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So how do you deal with your international clients?
So I don't know that I might have done a couple of international clients from designers from here.
Right.
I maybe 2
You
over
just
the
ship it
years,
out.
and you
Right,
just
right.
ship it. Yeah, most of the time they're specifying furniture from here, so the art would just be
Yes.
sent to the furniture, transporter and held there.
Right.
But I would say the international aspect has been a couple in my career. So yeah,
Yeah, it
That's
works.
fun.
Yeah.
It works.
So I'd love to get a little bit of a tour of
Okay.
the studio.
Okay.
Because, I'm looking around. I mean, this piece right next to me, I just realized that this is fabric.
yes,
So this is on wood.
on board.
Yeah,
Yes.
talk to me about this piece.
So this particular artist uses fabrics and decoupages them on a multi-layer
Decoupage. I have not heard that.
collage. And then
Yeah.
she finishes the pieces with a varnish. And
Beautiful.
she's very well known. She's on Artsy. She's in galleries in New York City.
Oh, wow.
And we've had the privilege of showing a few of her pieces here in the studio. They could orient both vertically and horizontally. They are assigned on the
Oh,
back
that's
by the
interesting.
artist. And I loved her because I love the idea that she's using fabrics, and we're in the
Sure.
design trade. And
Sure.
and her showroom, her studio, actually it's right here in Melville, is sensational.
really?
Oh my God,
Oh,
we
wow.
would vie for it. It's lovely.
that's fun.
Yeah. So I have a few of her
Beautiful.
pieces, definitely. Yes.
And then what are you seeing any, I hate to use the word trends in art because I feel like, but they do, things come in, things go out.
Yeah.
I'm seeing, and you know, I'm not immersed the way you are, a lot of hot colors.
A lot of hot
Yeah.
colors. So behind you is an artist that I work with.
You know what?
I think that's such an interesting
very
concept. Beautiful.
Let's see if we could show this lovely artist. So this artist is a multimedia, thank you, that does these silk
gosh.
butterflies
Anita.
in a plexi box. Her name is Layla.
Oh,
Just beautiful,
Incredible.
multicolor.
So dimensional.
Yeah,
Oh,
it comes
my.
in a custom-made plexi box.
Beautiful.
Now the artist does that as well.
Yeah,
Incredible.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
you
she
don't
creates-
get it just on the canvas.
she
creates
created
the
this
box to
custom
hold it.
box.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, very beautiful, very fine
Wow.
piece, all done and made by hand.
I love the dimensional art that is not framed,
Right,
that sits proud of the wall. I've seen
gorgeous.
little cubes and little boxes.
You like that? Yeah,
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that installation art.
very
I
beautiful. Yeah, we do a lot of that as well. This is an artist that I work with from San Diego area. These are made out of glass, and they create a spiraling installation to the wall that he calls it the Island Series.
Oh,
So there's a standoff on the back.
Right.
And I could show you pictures, but it creates
love
like a
stuff
beautiful
like that.
installation
Yeah.
art.
Isn't
beautiful.
that interesting?
Yeah.
Now,
Really
there-
unique.
That's how
It comes in hundreds of colors.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
This artist
Let me get out of your way.
is
I have
a
your
very world-known resin cast artist. So these have, I could take them out of the,
Dimensional.
it's dimensional.
Wow.
This very
So it's-
particular
It's like a liquid
resin, yes, that dries and is coated on panel. It just gets hung to the wall as you see. Her name is Farrah Thomas. This particular piece is called Frozen Pond. And I'm very fortunate to represent this world-class artist.
Beautiful.
She has
Very unique.
galleries in Canada, in Arizona. Her pieces are extraordinary.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
I love that.
definitely beautiful.
So I always love to sort of rummage through your original art.
Yeah.
So-
And the canvases.
I love
There's
the
nothing
canvases.
like unfurling a new canvas.
So these are my originals on canvas that I received from my rotating dealers. They come to me in rolls, but each one of them is unique. I keep them all separate and open them for the client.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they're all unique, and they're my higher end range of art. This is just one sampling of my
are
original
beautiful.
canvases. There are literally hundreds,
Yeah.
and I have a human computer brain of inventory.
Anita, tell us how you remember, like, what is this canvas? And you're going to be able to tell
I
me.
can tell you, and
Oh,
I
my
have
goodness.
a key code here. This is the funniest thing. I have a key code with a blue string. That means inside of this is a piece that's navy blue or has blue in it.
Oh,
Brilliant.
It's sort of like my
genius.
color code. I hope I'm right.
That is
Well, yeah.
genius. Yes.
So wow, this piece is wow.
Oh my God, look
Yeah,
at this.
this is stunner. So this is a
Oh,
huge
wow.
piece.
God,
This is stunning. And I
Oh,
tend to use,
that
yeah.
is beautiful.
So what is the size?
This is about 50 square.
Unbelievable.
See, now this looks like a piece that belongs in a museum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is magnificent.
This almost reminds me of a Monet. You know,
Yeah.
Beautiful.
more of a subject.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm probably losing it from the
Yep,
bottom.
there's something
And
behind it.
the
That's
one
okay. We
behind
got it.
it.
Oh,
Whoa.
wow. Go
Yeah,
ahead. You
hold on.
put this down. I got this.
No.
I'll put
You
it on the
don't.
Do
floor.
you want to?
I'll grab it that way.
You
Hold on,
grab
Di.
that.
Sorry.
No, I got
Okay.
it.
I've got this.
So this is my other blue that's in here. Wow. The wow factor. I don't even know
Same
if it's a-
artist.
Wow.
Same artist.
Gorgeous.
But I probably have it upside down. Anyway,
I don't think
That's
it
okay.
matters.
No,
I don't think it matters.
either.
how
Fall
gorgeous.
under
So-
impressionistic.
This is a little more impressionistic.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Gorgeous.
All right. Thanks for holding.
That was
Wow.
a beauty.
So,
So-
my color
you
code
do
is a
have a
little bit of
way-
a key. And then I know my dealers. So this is from one dealer and the other is from a different dealer. Anyway, I keep them rolled because I want to
course.
keep the integrity of the piece and not
course.
ruin them by handling.
It's beautiful. I love your system of knowing exactly what goes
It is a little
where.
bit of a silly system, but it works
No,
for
but
me
it
over all the
works.
years.
It works.
So there are hundreds, and again, a multiple
Sorry.
of genres.
Yeah.
There's abstract pieces, there's florals, maybe a couple of seascapes. So there's multiple genres. In my
Beautiful.
portfolios behind you, I have fine art on paper. So the differences are that the pieces on fine art paper, and you could just maybe do a flip, seeing some of these
Oh, that's beautiful.
are original art, but instead of on canvas, they're on paper. So
Anita, does that make it less expensive?
sometimes, yes,
It does.
it does.
Okay.
For multiple reasons. But it could be something small.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so striking.
Yeah. So clients often say to me, do I need to put glass on
Right.
paper? And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
To protect the piece from the elements.
Right. Right.
It could fade and it could loosen. It's a moisture.
Thanks.
So we always glaze fine art on paper, whereas a canvas has to breathe with the elements. So we don't put glass over canvas.
Oh, right.
It gets stretched on a stretcher, and then we use framing.
Okay.
Interesting.
Now, talking about paper prints and paper art, that brings us to framing.
Right. Is my example of a canvas piece. It's a small miniature. It's called Crosswalk. We would have this piece mounted or stretched because it's a short border.
Right.
Rosemary would probably just mount it.
Right.
And we use a slim frame with no glass.
Right. Because
We're going to look through my frame wall and select a frame that is worthy of this piece that echoes the feeling that
Right.
the art would like to make a statement. This piece, we're gonna do a sampling of framing, is an original on paper, vibrant, happy, and again, we're gonna do the custom framing process together.
So what would be your starting point? Are you going to pick one of the colors and use that as a background?
Sometimes.
Okay.
The tendency these days is going to stay a little bit more neutral.
Really?
Yeah, with our matting.
Okay.
I think the colored mats are sort of trending out. So I would.
Oh, you're killing me.
Yeah, but they also look beautifully. Sometimes we want it to stay
This
a little
is
bit
too much, right?
quieter.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, you could use.
And it's like, yeah, that is too much.
I remember the
You
day.
could use a vibrant in the inner mat. Would be
Right,
very
right.
Pretty.
But I remember the day of using the silk mats and doing all of that
Linen
extra
and
special.
I mean, look at these.
matting.
could do
I know.
that.
This
I-
rainbow.
well, not necessarily for this piece.
Yeah,
but
I
I'm-
would stay a little bit more contemporary.
absolutely.
So we have beautiful selections of framing.
Yeah, you
And
pull
maybe the
frames. I'm
guys
having
wanna-
fun with Matt.
Yeah, oh, wonderful. Maybe they want to come see my beautiful frame selections and get a good view. It's hard to walk through there. So these are all
You want to come? Yes, you come
Yeah.
through here. Come.
these are all my suppliers and samplings that I bring in. Again, constantly keep up with discontinued items, new fresh lines and supplies that I have. So let's say we wanted to really jazz up that piece of art.
That's a jazz.
That's a jazz. So we would take a frame, for instance, like this. We decide how much wall space we have.
Right.
Let's say we're working with above a wainscot with a panel, and that panel's 40 inches. This piece, I'm guessing, is around 30-inch square. We want to minimize our mat. We might want to just keep it white. We might want to go into some pink tones. So we would select some mats just to kind of pull examples of fresher
Pretty.
pinks,
Really pretty.
you know, that kind of make it more vibrant. We usually use what's called airspace around the
Right.
fine art.
Sure.
If I place it on top of the art, it doesn't look like an original art. So I try to leave a little airspace. Sometimes it's a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch or more. And then I decide how much width of our matting we want to use. In this case, we're going to build it up to a 3-inch matting on 3 sides and drop the bottom to elongate the piece.
Oh,
What a good idea.
Yeah,
interesting.
it's a French method that I
Interesting.
love. And the
Wow.
artist intended that with this particular work. So we would drop the bottom, we would
Right.
equal the 3 sides.
I
So a
love
square
that.
image becomes vertical.
Sure.
Gorgeous.
So it's
now,
really gorgeous.
with this piece, would you consider using a double?
A double matting? Sure.
double matting.
We could use,
Well, not only a double matting, but a double frame, an interlining frame.
if I did that, it could work very nicely. And sometimes
Only because the piece is so striking.
we could do that
Yeah.
in maybe one of the vibrant blues or something.
Right.
I could do that. Sometimes
I always remember when you did any of my clients, you would always recommend doing a double
yeah,
frame.
I mean it just jazzes it up. Why not? Look
Yeah.
how cool that is.
Yeah, beautiful.
It's just different. It's
It's
just cool. Whether or
beautiful.
not I would use this chiseled design
But the point of the
with
fact
this,
it's so custom and
it's
so worthy
custom.
of the piece.
Yes, yeah. So that's just an example
Right.
of doing something unique.
Sure.
And then we glaze it. I always suggest UV glass at minimum
Right.
because it's fine art and we don't want the fading over time to happen. There's another type of glass called True View, which is a museum quality, which has UV and anti-glare
Right. So it's
properties.
more of a matte finish.
It's not a matte finish. Though
Okay.
that kind of glass is out years and years ago. Now we
Okay.
use something called anti-reflection glass.
Right.
So there is no glass whatsoever, but you sometimes see the tint from any kind of incandescent lighting above.
Okay.
So, but it's clear as crystal clear, and it's worthy of fine art.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's definitely more high end, but I always suggest
Sure,
that. Yeah,
of course.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Love it.
definitely. Sometimes
a
we
unique
use
piece.
what you were referring to as a fillet.
Yes.
So a fillet is
Yes, and
something.
you know that's my favorite part.
It is your favorite part. Okay, so let's give you an example of a fillet. Sorry, I have
My
a
mother's
bag of.
favorite part is always bling. Extra
No,
bling.
it's to me it's layering.
The layering.
All about layering, and anybody can do a simple frame and it'll look beautiful. But I think it needs to be very unique because the piece of art is unique.
So this is what's called a fillet. This is a wider profile of a fillet. The fillet goes inside of our matting as an inside layer. So if that is our frame, if that is our fillet,
Right.
and then we'll use the pink again, I would then correspond a frame that works with our matting. So it's almost like this and
It
this
marries so
coordinates,
beautiful.
marries.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful technique. It comes in different lovely profiles, but I would marry the fillet, we call it, with the frame.
Right.
So this is just another
I love
beautiful
it.
concept.
I
And again,
think
this is just a way
Beautiful.
to show. Yeah.
Yeah, this is more bling, Annemarie. Absolutely. But Anita gets it, so I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's different multiple ways to frame. If I was framing this little guy,
I love this.
he's very cool.
This is what? Oil or acrylic on linen?
Acrylic, I would say it's acrylic. Oils tend to be much thicker, but I would definitely suggest that
This
piece is a
fantastic.
acrylic. So we would go to
how
my
would you
floater
frame this?
section. Yeah.
I'm automatically thinking it's either going to be blue or black.
Well, with this said, we do what's called a floater frame.
Okay.
A floater frame houses the canvas inside of what's called a rest. This is called a rest. And the canvas gets stretched or mounted because this is so small. If it was stretched, we need to take some of the edging.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And we would float it with a backing inside what's called a floater. So it gives it a dimensionality. Like that. Very simple.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
What a good looking piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with this, I would keep it very, very simple so that the piece is floating away.
Yeah.
And it makes a great statement
I love
in
it.
a powder room, of a
Anywhere.
sink,
Anywhere.
a toilet,
It's beautiful.
Fantastic.
hallway. Yeah, it's really
Beautiful.
lovely.
Yeah. it
So,
is.
Anita, I remember when you did 2 pieces for me specifically where you actually floated the canvas with a background. That was all you did.
With a linen,
Yes.
we could do that.
Yeah.
But
it was
we always
so
put a
unique.
frame. Oh, you mean
Yes.
just on a backing?
Yes.
We could do that too. So instead of doing like that, we would take some fabric matting. Sorry if you lost me back here. I'm sorry, guys. Hang on one
There's so
second.
many different techniques.
There is
when you
so
come
many
to frame.
techniques.
People don't realize the amount of education that goes into determining what's the right type of frame for any particular piece.
So this is what's called a linen or fabric mat. And to your point, we would
Right.
float it
Floated.
on top
Which
of
I
the
love.
linen mat. We don't need the glass because both of these are not going to deteriorate over time. And then we would put a simplistic frame, maybe something that has sort of like that striation, like this.
I love this.
See, I know it's so, see, because art is so personal. I don't love that.
You don't like floating the piece?
I
don't like
guess
floating?
well, I don't know. I guess I'm reacting to this piece and how this looks.
How cool.
To me, that takes
Oh, to
away
me-
from the piece.
What takes away?
This.
Yeah.
All of this happening.
You like
to
to just-
me, yeah.
I did
I
on
like
this
the
particular one. I did
simplicity.
too. Yeah.
Of that, just because.
Well, okay. To your point, Annemarie, that you may be correct on this particular piece, but I'm talking about the process. There's so many different processes.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, but that's why you need Anita.
Yeah.
So
She will guide us.
Yeah. So yeah, I see relation here. So there's pattern going on this
Correct.
particular frame.
See, I
It
did not
will-
even notice that.
It will work beautifully
Yeah.
on a piece like this
Okay.
that has the linear aspects, and a frame like this would
Very
be
cool.
magnificent. Or you could frame it right up to the art as well. But I do, in my professional opinion, try to relate the art to the frame. I think it has to marry. It has to work beautifully together. There's a synergy.
Right.
These are such interesting
They're
and
such
fun
interesting pieces.
Talk to me about these.
So I was at an event, an art event, 2 Aprils ago, and I fell upon this artist that just stopped me in my tracks. His name is Seek One. His real name is Rob, but his alias is Seek One. He's what I consider a emerging artist. He is to be seen. He takes, this is his icon series, and I'm very fortunate to have 2 of his pieces here. I have Twiggy and I have Kate Moss, sorry. And he does these multiple collage works. His signature is my
wow.
crazy love. He also signs to the back. So these particular ones are a varnish finish. He does a crazy sig on the back.
Oh, I love that.
That's fun.
He is represented by major art galleries all over the world.
Beautiful.
He will be at the Hampton Art Fair this weekend.
Beautiful.
And his work is emerging.
Now, Anita, I'm seeing seams. I'm
He
seeing
does. It's
vertical and horizontal
Yeah.
seams.
Yep.
So is it on canvas, on
purpose?
board?
On board.
It's on,
On
board.
board.
But he's creating those quote unquote seams.
Exactly.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. He's constantly evolving his work. Right now, his most wonderful work is called his Flora series. He's taken what we would call the Dutch floral
Yeah.
and making it into graffiti art.
Really?
It is sensational, if I tell you. So he'll be at this weekend affair.
That's wonderful.
Represented by major galleries. Those works are finished in a resin finish, bright and contemporary,
Wow.
but yet an old world concept of a Flemish floral.
I
And then he adds that graffiti onto it. So he's someone to keep my eye on. He's represented by New River Gallery and all internationally known white gallery in the Hamptons. And he's a real person to follow. On the other spectrum of what I do is I curate art in the sort of investment category, where a client wants to invest in a blue chip piece or something that has incredible value. And those are not stocked here in my inventory. Those are pieces that I can spot in one of these shows and present them to a client and sort of broker dealer those pieces. And those are for very specific clients, for very specific spaces. So again, self-taught, self-learned, but it's something that I really enjoy.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
So Anita, you don't really broker any of the old masters, if you will. Do
Well,
you get involved with that at all
Not
at
particularly
auction?
old masters, but there's like, yes. So for instance, right now I have a client very interested in Jim Dine. And there's only a few
So you're trying
pieces
to source one.
So do you do you actually go to the auctions where that particular?
I really don't.
You
No,
don't
but
have
everything's
to?
online now. That's easy enough to find online. But there's a secret sauce and sort of some sites that I am affiliated with. One to be known as Artsy, ARTSY.
Right, of course.
Where, you know, I could find what's out there in the marketplace from international sources.
Excellent.
Yeah. So it is
Excellent.
really excellent. But
It's a fun time to be in the art business.
It's a fun time. Yes, it really is. And I love what I do.
I
find
can't
every
tell.
day-
That I couldn't tell at
Every
all.
day's a new day. Every day's a challenge. Every day I'm creating, and with people like you and the company that you've built over all these years, it has been a source of such joy and such inspiration. Thank you so much.
Well, we've grown together, Anita.
we really have.
And
It's a
really think
history.
about that. Yeah. Yeah. We've been with you for a long
Yes,
time.
we're all blessed.
Wow.
Yeah.